So, hello everyone. Welcome on our session about an alternative to building digital experience platforms. And we are fully aware that this is the last session between you and the beer with your friends somewhere there. So we promise to talk only about the important things. However, if you decide to be with us for the next 30 minutes, you might find a way to keep calm and drink a beer in the future. So even when your CMS production is down. My name is Maciej Laskowski. I'm a hands-on software architect, and I'm here today with Marta Cukierman.
Hi, everyone. I'm the CEO of Dynamic Solutions, a company focused on engineering digital experiences and creating innovative products. And I wear many hats. And one of those is being a wife of a DXP developer turned solution architect turned CTO and a product founder. And I'm fully aware that this perspective probably does not often find its way to a developers conference stage. But just bear with me, because I think it might ring a bell. So a couple of years back, when we were moving into our new space, Michał took it upon himself to furnish our kids' room. He took his electric screwdriver and skillfully assembled all of the furniture in our kids' room and even mounted a gymnastic ladder to the wall. When it was ready, I came with a picture to hang and asked him to hang it. Well, he asked for a screw. We were out of screws, but the frame came with some nails, so he asked for a hammer. We didn't have a hammer at the time. So I asked if he can do it with that screwdriver of his. Him being the resourceful engineer that he is, he responded with a yes. He looked at the screwdriver, chose the hardest part to hit the nail with, without compromising the mechanism inside, put the nail against the wall, hit it a couple of times, and hung the picture. There was a little dent in the screwdriver's cover afterwards, but his wife, was happy with the result. Couple of weeks later, I come in with a box full of pictures and ask him to hang them in our hallway. This time, Michał says, enough, we need to go and get ourselves a proper hammer. We need to use the right tools for the job. Well, those of you who took this story a little bit too literally may now be thinking, who led her onto the stage? Well, the point that I'm trying to make is that quite often we find ourselves in a situation where the status quo require restrictions and assumptions, or our previous experiences lead us to do things in a certain way. And
today we would like to inspire you with building things another way, and would like to show you how we achieved that.
Yes. So during this speech, we'll share our experience and what we've learned so far on our way from tasking our product team with building a tool that would respond to the frequently occurring challenges when building digital experiences, to the point when we discovered how we can benefit from event streaming. And we'll follow up with a demonstration of how those real-time concepts work in practice. And we hope to inspire you to investigate alternative approaches when building and delivering digital experiences.
But let's start from the beginning. So yes, we've built our own CMS, and we took the best open source tools and frameworks that we already knew, and we did a pretty good job. Our CMS is modular. It is using Sling features. It even runs in a Docker container. We made contributions to the Sling open source. And we found ourselves in a moment that we have working product, and we started looking for early customers.
Yes, so we've started to show it around, and we have met with the feedback that even to consider a change of a system so vital to the brand's online experience, online presence, it can't be just a better CMS. It needs to either create a new potential or lift some painful limitation to the growth of the business. And you may be familiar with the trial, fail, and learn cycle. So after 2 years of putting our hearts and minds into this, this failure was not easy to digest. But we were more than ever determined to learn from this. And dare I say that we did. We set a bold goal in front of us of enabling companies to create real-time digital experiences. And what does it mean, a real-time digital experience, you may ask? So there are 3 aspects that we consider vital, and we don't compromise on any of them. First of all, experiences that are served with near zero waiting time, experiences that are relevant. They are customized and personalized with real-time event data, and experiences that are available to millions of users around the world at the same time. So once we set that goal, we started exploring various approaches. Well, in an approach where the CMS holds the glass, we tend to overload the CMS with the responsibilities it was not designed for.
Yeah, so let's go with some example. So we have a product detail page, and we'll stick to that example through the whole presentation. So this product detail page is like a classical example of an experience composed of data from more than one source. In our case, it will be template from CMS and data from PIM, the product information management. And by the way, how many of you have built something like these product pages in your project? You may raise your hand if you want now. Oh, cool. Almost half of you. Great. So just make sure that we are all on the same product page. This is experience that overview the product. So there will be definitely name, description, some technical data, maybe some images, reviews, like that. Okay. Now, let me show you a couple of referential solutions that enables having a PDP with a CMS on the center, and feel free to nod your head if you're familiar with any of those solutions. So the first one will be the batch update. So here, PIM pushes the data, updates author with product information in a batch, and the author publishes the data further to publishers. So a trade-off here. Well, the data on product pages might be outdated. I remember a particular project I was involved in, and we did those batch updates at night. Well, because importing and processing and rendering several tens of thousands of product pages just took a couple of hours, and we did like all the best caching practices, like cache warm-ups, custom evaluation, TTLs, and others, and it worked really well. Until the moment that our customer came and asked that they want the data updated of the product. It should be available to the end users within 15 minutes. So another solution, the full backend integration with the fresh data for the product pages. A couple of quick observations here. So exposing PIM to the end user's traffic will require some additional layer of caching, and it brings complexity to the platform. But the more unfortunate thing here is that the CMS and PIM activities must be somehow synchronized now. So, for example, if a PIM is not available, the CMS authors cannot publish product pages because this solution also heavily depends on caching. Just for the reference, front-end integration here, again, in a super short words, the product page is composed in a browser, and we basically move most of the caching related to products from dispatchers to API gateway. Now, I'd like to share my personal opinion. I know it might be a little bit controversial, but here it is. Well, composing product pages in a browser trades off the user experience. And it's really hard, especially when we are talking about the scale, tens, hundreds, thousands of products. And having those solutions in mind and, well, rather harsh feedback from our potential customers, we knew that we need to change something.
Yes, we took a step back. But before we did that, we realized that we cannot solve the problems in front of us with the same tools that we used when we created them and expect a different result. We've also realized that it's not the tools themselves that fall short here, but rather our approach to use them. So we've explored, we've found that a separation of concerns will be our best ally here. Let it sink in. When you think about what's needed to create, distribute, and deliver a digital experience, you may think of systems that are responsible for management of content, product data, price lists, assets, and so on. And each of them has its own job to be done. Our goal was to provide those systems with a streamlined connection with the part of the platform that will be responsible for processing the data and generating experiences based on them. And then putting those experiences close to the end user, and so that it can wait for the user to request it. As you can see, the CMS has moved to the left here, along with the other source systems, and has equivalent importance in contributing to the final experience, just as PIM, DAM, and so on. Its responsibilities within the system are to enable collaboration between editors, publish content, layouts, and so on, and then inform the platform about the changes that are relevant to the experience so that the platform can process it in real time.
So before I move on, I just might want to make sure that Marta and I are well understood here. Well, we don't have anything against CMS and PIM. They are very fine tools. Well, we even built one of them. What we like to improve here is the model of communication in the whole platform. And this is why we decided on an event-driven architecture. But what is this event-driven architecture? Well, the concept is very simple. There are three main actors. There are services, and there are brokers, those blue pipelines. And of course, there are events. And what could be an event? Well, Marta already mentioned some of them. The changes that Marta mentions are the events. So for example, product, page, or template publication, but also composing the data from this or optimizing an image like converting JPEGs to WebP. These are all events. Now, some services create events and push them to the brokers. Some services subscribe for an update and are triggered every time a new event they are interested in happens. And we can call them consumers. But in a nutshell, event-driven architecture is all about asynchronous communication, usually with some kind of intermediary like messaging system. And it enables you to build a loosely coupled services that communicate via events, and they can process them asynchronously. And those three factors enabled us to work further with the platform. Now, quick reminder on how it works with the full backend integration when we had CMS in the center. So notice the communication. So in a cache miss scenario, it is starting from the user and goes to the right to the PIM, and all the way it is synchronous, and of course back. Well, if something goes wrong in between, maybe PIM fails, maybe busy publisher timeouts dispatcher, well, the user experience will suffer then. Also notice how long the user has to wait for the response in that case. Let's see how we can deal with that using an event-driven. So what we like to do here, as Marta mentioned, is to push the ready experiences as close to the user as possible so that she or he waits a shorter amount of period for the response. So, well, the trick here is to actually move the data from the right, from sources to right to this delivery part in advance. And of course, fast. That enables requesting the data very fast for the end users, and the data is really close to them. Now, also, thing to notice here in this construct, see that all the end users' requests are handled by this layer with HTTP server and search engine. So no request goes to the sources like PIM and CMS. And one more important aspect of this concept, the published events are stored for later by brokers. It enables later to produce experiences without extra callbacks to sources. Let me explain that on an example. So when we have a product update, the product update event is created, and it triggers a function, the product experience function. So this function gets the new event with the product data and has access to the latest template without any callbacks to the CMS. And it is able to create experience and sync that experience to the delivery layer. If the template update happens, well, the template update event is created, and it also triggers functions. So those functions get the new template and can access the latest data from the products without calling PIM, and they produce a lot of product pages. And those product pages are the new experiences that replace the old experiences on the delivery layer, since no cache invalidation here is required.
Because there's no cache.
Sorry?
Because there's no cache, right?
Yeah, there is no cache. Sorry, it was so obvious to me. I forgot about it. Thanks, Marta. Let's talk about resilience now. So you remember at the beginning of presentation, I was mentioning something about CMS being down? Well, that's the scenario. Maybe that's maintenance, maybe something else. Well, we keep calm. Because our end users can still browse the page. They can still search. If we had there something like commerce or payment services, they could still purchase the products. What is more, product information authors, they can still update and publish new products or update existing ones. And the end users will see those updates because everything that is required to produce new experience is already there in the system. You might ask now, what will happen with the HTTP servers fail? Well, that's a fair question. That would be similar to one when the CDN fails. Look, by separating the concerns of those two layers, sources and delivery, we enable to compose those services in both layers with different architectural characteristics. So, for example, HTTP server here, they are designed to be highly available and they should have a high resistance. On the other hand, the CMS, the sources like CMS or PIM, they have different role to play. And they have different kind of users and different amount of users. And now I left my favorite one, the evolvability, for the end, for the last one. And I'd like to share another story. So my team and I were tasked to migrate a whole web page of a global paperback publishing company. And I was a freshly baked senior engineer back then. With addition, we were tasked to implement a simple search. So we used the CMS built-in search with Lucene in it. And there was one challenge, let's say, integration with the PIM. They had around like 50,000 of products, but everything went surprisingly smooth, and the go live was a big success. And after a few weeks after the go live, we got a call from our client, and they asked for small improvements. Well, those small improvements was, for example, they wanted to steer the search result from now. So, for example, if a title of a book had a word toy, it should display higher in the results, in the search results, than another book that has this toy word in a synopsis, the description of the book. Another one, was that they packaged some kind of a review module with already some data in it, and they wanted us to incorporate that to the product pages. Well, the problem was that those small changes required major changes in the platform, including rewriting a lot of CMS components and a mix of backend and frontend integrations. So, long story short, this platform wasn't ready for these changes. Now, how it can look with the events? Well, since we built a loosely coupled services and they are communicating asynchronously, well, replacing one with another is just a matter of replacing it. Well, fair. It would be nice if it consumed the same model, and in this case of search engine, nice if it exposes a similar search API, so the front-end web application is capable of using it, but it will definitely not break our CMS. And if you have any more data, well, there's this pipe, just push it there, or through API, whatever. This platform is ready. And like the final one, which is one of the biggest advantages of the event-driven architecture, is that it is made for evolution. Okay, I mentioned that I'm hands-on architect, so enough examples. Let's see some action.
Yes, as we move to the demo, we will see yet another graph. And that graph shows you who is taking part in our demonstration. So we have a CMS. In this case, it will be our website CMS. We have a PIM. That PIM is an application developed solely for the purpose of demo. Even though they will have similar interfaces, these applications are independent. We have our real-time processing layer and lightweight delivery services that we'll be using here is the HTTP server and the search engine.
Okay, so let's move. So this is the final page. By the way, it's publicly available. It's adaptTo.website.cloud. You can enter it if you wish and take part in the demo. It's not optimized like for the front end. We'll be focusing more today on the integration part. So this is like a campaign page. It has some blogs, some products to browse. Let's see something here. So there is like kind of green sofa, and there is a search. We can search something, maybe a blue sofa. Will there be a blue sofa? There is a blue sofa. Okay. The second part is the CMS here. So this CMS enables us to control most of the pages, but from the demo perspective, the most interesting one would be the templates, and there is a product page template. And if I edit it, you will see like a lot of placeholders. And those placeholders will be later replaced by the data from another system, the PIM. So again, let me just quickly log in. So this is a very simple application. This is only for the demo purposes, but this is totally separate application from the CMS. And it enables like editing, publishing, and unpublishing products. And the last one, the fourth tab in my browser, is the simple dashboard that shows the statistics of the platform. So here on the left, there are total number of publications by type. So there are about over 6.5 product publications. So we have around just above 3,000 of products here. So each of them was less or more published twice. And we have 11 template publications. So that means the template was published 11 times so far. The right number here is the number of total experiences produced. So that 39K is the number of web experiences. Web experiences are, of course, pages, but also some assets, CSS, etc. And assets in that data comes from external source, like it's usually done in PIM. And there are second type of experiences. It is search experiences.
Okay, let's now move to what we've promised at the beginning. So the scenario when your CMS is down and, well, you don't worry. Even if your marketing teams come and say, well, there is this time-sensitive campaign and there are those products that we need to publish.
Okay. Let's make it more interesting. And I will disable the connectivity with CMS. So I will disable the connectivity. What does it mean? Well, it means that there will be no CMS with the demo. So, like, I'm not talking about author. There is nothing. No author, no dispatcher, no cache, no publishers, nothing. Okay? And let's keep fingers crossed and let me refresh the page. It still works.
Yeah. Let's look for that special collection.
The campaign?
Yeah.
Yeah, great idea. We had prepared one. Oops, it's not there.
There is one T missing, but yeah.
Adapt. Oh, thank you. Yeah,
still no result.
Still not there.
Okay, let's then move to our theme and see if we have those products.
Yeah, so we have 3 products within the adaptTo category.
Yes.
So let me publish them. 1, 2, and 3.
Can we see if...
They're there, already there. So we can see there are 3 products to browse. Let me click on one of them. There is...
and the CMS is still down, right?
Well, I didn't do anything, so yeah.
All right. Then, but I have to say I don't really like that Indigo one. Can we remove it?
No problem. Let me fix that. And I will unpublish this one. And let me go back and refresh the page. And it's 404.
It's gone. And how about the search results?
There are only 2 left.
All right.
But none of those is the one I just unpublished.
There's only 2 ones left. All right. Let's now maybe move to a scenario where we have our CMS up.
Just let me bring it up. So it will take a couple of seconds. So in between, great marketing, what it again?
Yes, our great marketing team, they did a research and they want now to show not 2 images in the gallery, but 5 images.
Okay.
And they are really keen on changing the title to this bright red. They say it's super important.
So we have only 2 images now in each product. Let me go back to the CMS and it hopefully working. And okay, the number of images, like this is super obvious, right? Looking on that code, you need just to change it to 5. Like this.
And the title to red.
Fancy. Well, that's marketing. Red. Okay. Let me preview that, how it looks. Beautiful. The red color and 5 images. Let's publish this page. But first, before I will publish, let's go to the board. So we have here like 11 template publications. I will publish one in a second. So this number will increase to 12. And we have around 39 case of experiences of each type, the web ad search. So we expect daily increase of the number of the products. So it's like just about 3,000. Yeah, so, sorry, I don't remember the exact number. So let me go to the CMS and publish.
The page.
And now let's go to the page and let me refresh that.
How many pictures in the gallery?
How many pictures? There are 5 pictures.
Any other product?
Let me see what here. Black table. Seems. Well,
red title, 5 pictures. Okay. Can we move to the monitoring maybe to show how many?
To the board, right? Yeah. So let me go back to the board. So there are 12 there are 12 templates publications, and there are about 42 cases of experiences. So those all experiences were just published, and we can see also our function. There are both functions. There is one for search index, but there is a second function for the template engine. And so it took and published all the products. Well, we have more than product. We have some reviews, but yeah, I guess we don't have enough time to show you this thing. So just one small detail. So while we were doing all the changes, the website that we showed was under a constant traffic without, well, just about 220 requests per second. So this is more than 12,000 requests per minute. And the response times was like, well, it's about 4 milliseconds. Well, 99% was like 5 milliseconds. Sorry for that. But let's go back to the presentation, maybe, and let's. Well, actually, we are closing to the end of this session. So that would be a great time for some takeaways.
Yes. So when the approach of, well, when considering event streaming as an approach makes sense, it's when your site needs to react to changes from multiple systems, and it needs to do it instantly. When you operate on scale with massive volumes and velocity of data during time of peak demand, when you operate globally and your systems need to, well, and you need to serve your users with instant reactive experiences, whatever their location. And last but not least, when you need to be ready for the change that is, it's coming. You may notice that I've said instant in a couple of contexts, and it wasn't a coincidence. If your requirements have time as an important factor, it's reasonable to consider event streaming as your approach.
Yeah, that's right. And about tomorrow's event.
Yes, we look forward for the playground session tomorrow. We are, it starts at 4:15. Other than Maciej, there will be 2 other experts available, the said husband, so Michał and Paweł. If you want to see examples of how to integrate this with AEM, how to add another source to the platform, we invite you to come and talk to us.
And please remember about giving us your feedback. And actually, that will be time for questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, we did get some questions. I was scrolling through. There's like a very interesting one, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Building and maintaining such a solution is like a lot of effort. So the question, is it an open source solution?
So the whole platform based on open source solutions. We can list them tomorrow if you're interested or came to us after the session. But the solution, like the composability layer, is not open source. It's our product. What we have for a try is a CMS that I showed. It's source available. It's under a BSL license, but for small setups, it's completely free to use.
Then how do you determine which experience depends on what resource, like template, product, content?
Yeah.
All right.
Please.
I think that's a part of the definition of the function. So depending on what's the responsibility of the function, it listens to a certain type of event. So if you know that your information, either from PIM or price list, needs to be reflected in your final experience, then when having that function written, you listen to those events from those systems.
All right. Michael wants to know, if you release a no code release, does that mean that all content is statically regenerated, Or do you detect which templates changed? How you do that?
Well, it's really up to the case, but so let's say like we, I don't know, have a new release of a CMS application or something like that, and we have new kind of component. So look, that was similar to one that we already published a template. So we have a lot of product pages that are ready to served and they're all near the user. So if there is new template and with a bunch of new components, we simply can publish this template. It will take the data that we had already there in the system, and it will again replace the old pages, the old experiences with the new. Right?
Thank you.
So like no offline time.
Thanks, Maciej. Thanks, Marta. Thanks, Maciej.
Thank you.
And as mentioned, tomorrow at the Meet the Expert Playground session, you can ask all the questions about event-driven architectures you have and get some expert advice. Thank you.
Thank you so much.